Alright, hey guys, welcome back to another live streaming lounge only on my Game On's Facebook page, and you are still with me, Kianu Azman, live at Nexus Connection, Bangsa South. Right now, right beside me, I've got a man that honestly needs no introduction. He has done way too many things that if I were to mention all the things that he has done in several industries, it would take till tomorrow. So I shall introduce you, Encik Mufizal Mokhtar. How are you doing, Encik Mufizal? Oh wow.
I'm doing really good. Very, very good.
Okay, even though I said you need no introduction, but tak apalah, sebab protocol kan. So could you please introduce yourself to our viewers out there, Encik Mufizal?
Right. Okay, Keno. So my name is Mufizal. I'm born and bred Malaysian. Very proud to be Malaysian. So I have been doing game development for 15 years already. I'm probably one of the first batch of people to actually make games in Malaysia. For the past 10 years, I've been in Singapore. I was the senior art director for Ubisoft Singapore, doing games like Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and the latest one, of course, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. So I was the senior art director for Ubisoft Singapore.
Personally speaking, I never knew that any Malaysians were actually part of Assassin's Creed, the entire franchise. And then when Mufizal told me that, oh yeah, I was, you know Assassin's Creed, right? I'm like, yeah. So I was basically the art director at Ubisoft, and I was part of Assassin's Creed. Honestly, I just was lost for words. I was dumbfounded, to be honest. So let's talk a little bit about that. How was the experience like working on Assassin's Creed, the entire franchise?
I think Assassin's Creed in general is a very strong franchise.
Yeah.
It shows that it's a form of escapism. So Assassin's Creed promotes virtual tourism. They build great worlds for you to explore.
Yeah.
So I think working on that, you yourself become very educated about the places that you build. For example, when I was working on Assassin's Creed 2, you get to explore Rome. As a developer, as a creator as well, you go to the actual city. They send you there.
Really?
Yes. When I was working on Assassin's Creed Black Flag, it was set in Havana. It was set in Cuba. So they sent us to Cuba for you to...
The whole team?
Not the whole team, the core team. The people who are involved in the birthing of the idea of the game.
Right. So, and after Assassin's Creed, what other games were you part of after that?
I think part of, for the most part of my career of 15 years, it takes a very long time to make a game.
Right.
So although it sounds 15 years a long time, but actually it's...
The amount of games that you've developed within that time tak banyak. Sebab one game pun takes quite a while.
Quite a while. So most of the games that I have been working on were Assassin's Creed. But some of the more notable games, the first few games that was developed in Malaysia actually was the Backyard franchise, Backyard Baseball, so long ago already.
Right.
I used to work on Game Boy games. I don't know whether you know Game Boy is pixelated games.
Ya Allah, I might be a millennial, but I had my Game Boy days, you know. I sempat lagi merasa Game Boy, Cik Mufizal.
Yeah, so and also I worked on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
And itu yang that he can mention now lah. Later we have to go and correct some more what other games, the famous games that we never thought any Malaysians were part of. He was part of as well. Tapi now you are into video game toys.
Right, so apart from being a game developer and art director, I'm also a very passionate creator of things.
Right.
I make a lot of things. I make, part of it is sculptures, so I am an artist.
Right.
I sculpt things for collectible toys. So Hand Made Object is a company that I founded.
Hand Made Object Collectibles. He's the founder of it.
Yes, so we make collectible statues. It's a huge market, a big fan base. And because I'm a game developer, I make collectible statues for video games.
Right.
And I collaborate with big companies like Capcom, Sony. Latest, we are collaborating with Games Workshop. Games Workshop are the IP holders for Warhammer.
Right.
Yeah, the Warhammer franchise.
Yeah.
And we make collectible items for them. And also I also do some collectible things for Marvel, DC, and the latest ones
What
for
did
Royal
I tell you?
Selangor.
What did I tell you?
So a lot of things basically, yes.
Bila dengan Marvel, okay, Marvel. You've collaborated with Marvel for what project exactly?
A few projects. So most of them are collectible projects,
Right.
collectible from the collectible industry, from the toy industry and collectible industry. So one of the first few things I collaborated with Marvel itself was to create collectible statues, 1/4 scale collectible statues. These statues are not cheap. These statues are anywhere between 700 to 1,000 US dollars
Oh, wow.
per piece. So I did Captain America was one of the first one. I did Daredevil, you know Daredevil, and then for Royal Selangor, Malaysia, I also collaborated with Royal Selangor and Marvel to create a line of statues for DC and Marvel.
How big actually is this game collectible industry? Is it still huge? Because I mean, you know, from a non-gamer point of view, I would think like, okay, if I suka main game tu, I would just continuously play the game, you know. But is it still are these collectibles still huge and relevant for perhaps these game lovers? Would they actually go and buy? And the demand, is it high?
I think the demand is there. It really depends on the target market that you want to target,
Right.
basically. So, for example, we collaborated with Capcom to create their 30th anniversary of the Mega Man X statue. So that was a very, very big success for us. We make about 450 pieces of those in total. We made a few variations of those, and it sold out within the first 3 hours of launch.
Wow.
The reason why is because number one, Mega Man is a very nostalgic brand.
Right.
So the people who used to play Mega Man are now working class people.
Yep.
They have money now.
Correct.
So they want to invest 700 US dollars to buy something from their childhood.
Right.
So yes,
Because finally they're at a time where they don't have to ask money from their parents.
Correct.
They've got the money. I'm gonna buy this because this reminds me of my childhood.
correct. And it's and the statues that we make lasts hundreds of years. So they're almost like a time capsule that you buy to keep at your house.
Right. Now I'm gonna backtrack a little bit because I read Mufizal's profile earlier,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you studied music and sound engineering back in school. And how did you actually penetrate to become a designer? I mean, I can't connect the dots right now. Or do you also do anything designing related back in school as well?
I think if I were to analyze and give you an example, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you love food,
Yeah.
you would eat the food, you would blog the food, you would take pictures of the food,
Yeah.
you would cook the food, and you would also sell the food.
Oh yes, I would marry the food if I could.
So with that, that makes you a writer,
Correct.
makes you a cook,
Correct.
makes you a businessman,
A photographer.
a photographer, but everything is related to those things that you love.
Right. Right.
For me, I love pop culture.
Yeah.
Everything that is related to pop culture, I love. And anything that I can get involved in, I would. So, starting out when I was really a small child, I was brought up with a very creative family. My late mother, bless her soul, she was a fashion designer, and she was the house I was growing up in was full of art all the time. She was doing lots of art. She does oil painting, and I myself started to draw on the walls with crayons. Started to take plasticine and do all
Right,
sorts of
right,
things
right.
throughout my childhood.
Yeah.
Until I finished school, I said, "Mom, I want to go and learn art now."
Yeah.
I said, "Why you want to go and learn art? You've been learning art all your life since now.
Yeah.
Why don't you go and learn something you don't know?" I said,
Yeah,
Good
that's actually
point.
true, kan? Because basically you've learned and you fell in love about art through your mother at home
Yeah,
already.
yeah,
So what?
yeah.
Theoretically, go get something different. you
Correct.
know?
So she said, "Why don't you go learn something you don't know?"
Yeah.
So well, okay, I love music as well. So
Yeah.
maybe I can go and learn something about music, and it's related to the pop culture industry.
Correct.
Because I was already reading comics, already playing games at that time,
Yeah.
right? So I went to learn audio engineering. So I was just speaking to a friend just now. I was saying that formal education is very, very important. No matter what industry you want to go in, you need to have formal education
Correct.
of some sort.
Correct.
And nowadays, all the education that you go in, you will be related to each other.
Yeah.
So that's basically how I got into it. So as I moved on to audio engineering, I
Uh-huh.
was still playing game like crazy. I was still doing art.
That means you yourself, you are and were an avid gamer.
Yes.
Still, do you still have
Still.
time for that? I mean, considering how crazy I would assume your schedule is, You ada masa lagi nak play games,
There's-
Mufizal?
There's always room for dessert.
That's actually true. And in my case, there should always be room for dessert, and my dessert is gym time. But I always skip that, you know, unfortunately. We always, as human beings, we always make excuses. Tak ada time for this, tak ada time for that. But there you go. If Encik Mufizal can do all of those, can slot in every single thing into his 24 hours, so can we. That's motivation for me.
So I'm a very avid. Funnily enough, I'm a very avid esports gamer. So I'm a very competitive gamer.
Right.
I play a lot of fighting games like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tekken, those kind of stuff. Because it's in and out, in and out.
Correct.
So I'm like, I'm going to the bank. I'm waiting at the bank. I'm going to whip out my phone. I'm going to play a little bit of Street Fighter.
Right, right.
Or I'm at home waiting for the wife to cook food.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and find somebody to fight on Street Fighter on.
We always find something to do, you know,
Yes, a
like
little
back
bit.
to back.
Yeah.
What was the point that you decided I want to be part of game development?
When I played Final Fantasy VII.
Oh wow! So tengah main tu, and then how did the epiphany come?
When I was playing Final Fantasy VII, right?
Yeah.
Looking back, the game didn't age very well at all.
Okay.
The graphics are very outdated now. But
Yeah.
when I was playing at that time, the graphics was cutting edge. It was 3D, and I was like, oh my god, how the hell is this stuff made? And that piqued my curiosity as a creative myself. I always want to look under the hood on how things are made.
Yeah.
So when I played Final Fantasy, that experience that I got, I actually wasn't interested on how they made the models or how they did the lighting.
Yeah.
What I was really interested was how they delivered that experience.
Right.
How can I, as a creator, make somebody else feel like this?
Yeah. I totally understand you.
Yes.
That's me in films. When I watch a great killer-ass film with killer editing, and I'm like, oh my god, I want to be part of this. Because that's a different feeling when you watch something that you yourself creator, you are part of. You rasa macam, this is exactly how I felt when I saw something that I did not create, and when you sendiri yang buat tu, lain macam the feeling. I totally understand you. I totally get you.
It's how you can deliver this experience. Make somebody else happy.
Correct. Oh my god. I love this conversation so much, to be honest. I don't want this live to end. But one more question for you would be, I know that you've worked not just in Singapore, but several other countries around the world as well, dealing with people internationally. How can you, what can you say about the Malaysia's gaming industry? Do you think we are doing well compared to other countries? Do you think we are slowly getting at par with other countries as well?
So I think in general, Malaysia and Malaysians themselves don't know how talented they are, because most of the time we only play around our neighborhood. But as soon as any one of us, myself included, any one of us steps out of that comfort zone, you will realize how talented you are. I think the raw talent here in Malaysia per capita is way more than anywhere else around the world. Yeah. The person that is out there modifying their bikes is way more creative than anybody you would know. So I think that's the difference between outside and inside. The raw talent here, untapped raw talent, is huge and abundant here in Malaysia.
Do you have any tips for all the young ones out there who are probably just sitting down at home, not doing anything, figuring out what do I want to be in the future? So, and you, on the other hand, have done so much and will continue doing so much for the country, going places here and there. So, any tips that you could give them, please, including for me also. I'm about 21,
So,
I've got a long way to go. Yes, Sensei.
The best tip I can give you is learn how to execute. And because everybody has a great idea. The person selling the nasi lemak will have the greatest game idea in the whole world. But the difference is, how do you execute it? So learn how to execute and you can be successful.
Thank you very much, Mufizal. I think that's really great advice there, because planning is one thing, but executing is the main thing, basically. You know, if you don't execute it, then it's just a plain white sheet that you've painted, but you got to execute it, then you go to places. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Mufizal.
No problem. Thank you, Keanu. Thank you very much for your time, and thank you guys for listening.
Yeah, I've had such a great session with Mufizal. I think we've learned so much, and looking at how much you've done has really inspired me, and I'm pretty sure all of you out there who are watching have also been inspired by this session. But don't go anywhere, because right after this, we've got more live streaming sessions only on My Game On's Facebook page.